So yeah, I just came out of the station, as you guys can see. Because I have to walk to the bouldergym now, which is 15 minutes, I thought it would maybe be a good idea to already go through the reviews a little bit. And yeah, after I've been through the reviews, I'm gonna do a gym showcase and then we're gonna go right into the climbing. The first review is by eindhoven. I had a really good experience and I like routes. They are fun and challenging to climb there, but color grading is sometimes a bit off. They could also change hold more frequently. After 3 weeks, I saw around 35% of old routes still there, but still I like to climb there. Little minus for not free parking spot. 2 hours are around $5 or euros. 3 hours around 8. Very good showers / lockers too. The second review is by CM. A very nice gym, but it gets super hot even with 21 degrees outside, resulting in constant slippery hands and in my case, migraines post-workout. Ventilation is not the best even when it's too hot. Most windows are closed and they don't turn on all the fans. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't even need to use fans in spring if they would open all the doors that face the street at least 5 centimeters to not disturb the neighbors with the music, and have the other 2 fully open to create a nice airflow. Despite all that, it's a very nice gym with good routes and a big space for warming up and workout. The cafe is very cozy and the terrace is very nice on sunny days. All in all, I really like it, but the heat really ruins the experience for me. Maybe it won't be an issue for other people, but for me it even stops me from going more often in the summer. The third review is by Gabriel A. Okay gym, I've heard a lot of hype around this gym, but the route setting was not impressive. It's decent and somewhat techy, happily not modern, Olympic jump, hair and twist around sort of thing. Sadly, there are mainly only aggressive quims when arriving a certain level. The holes are quite dirty, make it less fun to climb. The entry price is also somewhat high, recommended if you climb harder and love quims, otherwise better skip it. And for last review by Giorgio Colombi, way too busy in the after work hours. Way too expensive, atmosphere not cozy, yet I will keep coming because there's no alternative. I look forward to the day the city will have a second bouldering gym. That's a crazy thing to say, to be honest. But yeah, I'm pretty curious if all of these reviews will be correct or if it's just going to be mostly false. So yeah, let's see how this will be in the gym itself. I'm really bad at crack climbing, but I will try to do it, even though I really suck at it. That was a close call, but yeah, flashed it. So I'm right now pretty late in the gym, like 7:10, and I have to say the review saying that it's really crowded is definitely right. Look at this. There's like a lot of people here too. It's Thursday right now, and yeah, I think you just don't want to climb in the evenings. Of course, except if you want to just make friends here, but yeah, definitely not really a good one to climb in the evening. But yeah, now it's time for the training area. Here you have a campus board, 3 different spray walls, a moon board and a kilt board, which is adjustable, the kilt board, a few hang boards, weights, and yeah, yoga mats. And you can also do your pull-ups there. You also have a weighted belt, which is also really nice. Alright, so something that's really important is the toilet. So we have a gender neutral toilet that women and boys can go to this toilet. We have tampons here for the woman and what that is. But yeah, basically this is a gender neutral toilet. I wanted to let you guys know because you have that in some of the gyms, climbing gyms. As you guys can see, gender neutral. So yeah, that was the toilet tour. Yeah, let's now go home. So yeah, I just showcased the well-known toilet. But yeah, we are done with the climbing session in Eindhoven, a monk Eindhoven. This was the last monk gym that I will be waiting from the Netherlands. There's of course still a monk gym in Belgium, but I will be waiting that if I'm going to wait everything in Belgium, which eventually will be the plan. But yeah, I will be waiting the rest at home because I still have a long trip to go, and yeah, it's probably gonna be quite crowded in the train, so yeah, I will be waiting at home. So yeah, let's now go to the rating and the reviews, shall we? Okay, let's now go through the reviews. So yeah, In Night had the problem that after 3 weeks he saw that still 35% of the old routes were still in the gym. He's kind of right with that because I also saw that. I saw quite some like older boulders still in the gym after 3 weeks. He's kind of right with that. There's also no free parking. I saw that too. And for the rest, well, color rating, I don't really feel like it's that off. I think definitely like from red to white, there are also like still quite a few easier white boulders. And I think the way how they made the white boulders by, not only having like the super hard ones, but also like the somewhat like mediocre, like 7Bs and 7B pluses, they have like a lot of those boulders too. So you can like work up to like 7C plus and 7C. I think that's something that this gym does really well. In my opinion, I think this review will be a minus 0.5 points for the total score because of course the old routes, but that's basically it. Alright, so the next review is the one from CM. He said that it's super hot and that there's no real ventilation and that they probably don't really, want the windows open because the music is quite loud and there are people living close by. I have to say it's very interesting, but he's completely right. There is no real ventilation. I felt that also in the gym. I sweated a lot in the gym. I felt like a little bit of like ventilation, but it wasn't that much. And definitely when there's like a lot of people and definitely also like in the middle of the day, it gets like super hot and you're gonna sweat like a lot. The person is right, like there isn't really any ventilation, so I will have to remove 1 point because he's completely right. So yeah, that's gonna be minus 1 point for the total score for this review. So the next review is by Gabriel A. He said that this gym is mainly focused on aggressive crimping, and that the routesetting was not that impressive, decent and somewhat tacky, and that the holds are quite dirty. I have had a session, I think like a month ago, where the holds were like a little bit greasy, but I wouldn't say that the gym is like really like, that the gym is dirty or, not really that clean. Um, because like I didn't slip like once in this gym. It was mainly the things where I slipped out of were mainly like just technique stuff. I had also like a lot of balls where you have to put a toe hook and a heel hook. The red one where you have to like catch your toe like this on like a hold. That was also really quite technical and also more modern. There was also like definitely like the power boulders require a lot of technique, a lot of heel hooks and toe hooks. Even though there are some boulders that are mainly just like grimping, I feel like that's not really the case in this gym. This gym also has like a lot of slopey boulders, a lot of dynamic boulders, and also like the steps. Of course, like the steps are quite grimpy, but also there it's also like quite slopey and like quite mixed up also. So I have to say that this guy's review is kind of like BS, and I think he just wants to hate because he doesn't really like the routesetting in this gym. It's quite hard and I get it, but yeah, I think it's just not really, that accurate what he's saying, because I think it's quite a good gym and it's not really mainly only focused on crimps, because that would mean that everything is focused on crimps, which is not the case. That's by Giorgio Columbi. Way too buzzy in the after hours, way too expensive, atmosphere not cozy. Um, and he's also the guy that said, I look forward to the day the city will have a second bouldering gym, which is quite weird to say. I think definitely it's like quite busy in the evenings, but I won't really say that it's not really cozy, because I have talked with a lot of people that were just like climbing in the gym, and yeah, I felt quite relaxed in the gym too. You can like basically like sit everywhere, because everywhere there's basically like somewhere to sit. You can talk to anyone there, and I think the people are quite friendly. I think it's just like quite crowded, and I think that this guy is not really a social guy, but mainly like probably a guy that just wants to climb alone, which I get. But yeah, I am gonna remove 0.5 points because of this review, because it's kind of right, and definitely in the evenings if you just want to climb hard, it's definitely not gonna be a good one to climb in the evenings, because then there are like a lot of people. So yeah, minus 0.5 points. I have now got like minus 2 points from like all the reviews that we have been through. So yeah, we will be removing that from the ratings total score, and we'll see what we will be getting. But yeah, now let's rate the gym. Let's begin with wood setting. So yeah, what do I think about wood setting? I think this is probably one of the best gyms I've been to in a really long time. This is the very first monk gym that I've been climbing in. My family lives in Eindhoven, and I usually come to Eindhoven just to, visit my family and stuff. I have always been like, climbing in this gym when I went there, and every single time it's just like a really good gym. It's really hard though, but the way they set the boulders, it's not only just like new style in like wood setting, but it's also like really like there's like a lot of competition style boulders, which are like not too competition style, but there are like a lot of like really weird moves you can like see in a competition, which you can like learn in this kind of wood setting. I think what they did with like the color system, that the white now is the hardest, I think that's like a really good thing that they have made. The boulders are really technical, like there were like a lot of hooks and tokes you had to use in like the power boulders, but also in like the less more overhanging boulders. And also like the slabs too are also quite like, technical. Even though sometimes I feel like it's like a little bit, too much crimping. I think definitely like the way how they made the boulders and the area they have. I think they mixed it up very well, and I think for me it's gonna be personally like it's not like the best wood setting I've ever seen, but it's definitely going to be in my top 10 of the best wood setting that I've probably seen right now. So yeah, I think I will give the wood setting a 8.5 in this gym. Alright, now for the training area. I well, the training area is really big. You have a campus board, you have hangboards, you have, it's just really big. You don't really have like a lot of people, really close by, that uh yeah, that are like in the way of you training in this gym. um well, you have basically like everything. You have like also like an adjustable kilt board for people that maybe want to climb below 50 degrees. And you also have a moonboard 2019, which is, I think, for me at least, I think is like the best addition to have in the boulder gym. Not only because it's like a lot of crimping, which you can also a little bit like see in this gym, which works really well together also. But it's also just like a really pretty good board. Last year I had like the Youth Dutch National Championship qualifications in Eindhoven, and definitely like the training area was a really good warming up area for the competitions. And also after I had like done the competition boulders, I thought, you know what, I'm still gonna do some kilterboarding, and the kilterboard was just really clean. Also, the moonboard and the spray wall was also quite clean, which I also really liked. So I think the training area for me gets like a 10. I think it's just like perfect, and I think it's probably like the best training area I've seen in a really long time. And I think a lot of gyms can learn from like this gym with like the training area. Because like there's also like a lot of gyms that just don't really have that big of a training area, which is quite concerning, but also quite understandable sometimes. But I think this gym definitely did a good job with like the training area. So yeah, now for air quality slash conditioning, I have to say that this will get a pretty low score because I didn't really felt that much fresh air into the gym. I think this also like the only problem that this gym really has, besides the really crowded up places in the gym in the evening. Um, I think I have to rate this a well, there isn't really that much ventilation. I felt like a little bit of ventilation, so I will have to, because you can open up the windows, I have to rate it a 3. The reason is that it's just like it's not enough. You have like a lot of people climbing in like 2 stories in this building, and when it's really crowded up, a lot of people can sweat, and there's nowhere it can really go. I have climbed a lot of times in this gym, and I had like the same problem again and again and again, which is that I sweated like a really like big lot in this gym, and there wasn't really anything that could really cool me down except just like drinking a lot of water. Um, which I think I think gyms should have good ventilation, in my opinion. And I think a lot of gyms do that, but I think they maybe just forget to turn on the ventilation in this gym, or they just don't really have that much ventilation. Because definitely like at like the top floor, I just feel like they just don't really have any ventilation at all. Like you could like not even like feel a little bit of like wind. I think the only thing that I felt was like the window that was open, which there wasn't even like that much fresh air that was coming out of that window. So yeah, it's gonna be a 3 for me, unfortunately. Alright, friendliness slash sociality. I think this gym has really friendly people. The staff are really friendly, and I think also the people in the gym are really friendly. I had like a lot of people that I climbed with in when I climbed in this gym. I think I have like talked to like 3 people, and I had like a small session also with them. Like it's really nice. And this is like in one session, by the way. The people here are just quite friendly. It's quite open though, so you are quite a little bit like spread it apart. But if you just like climb in the gym a little bit, people will eventually talk to you, and they're just really friendly. Definitely like in the busier hours, it's a really good time to also make friends and be social. And I think this gym definitely deserves a, well, I wouldn't say it's like the best, because like sometimes it feels like you're quite like a little bit like apart because the gym is so big. But I will probably like rate it like a 9. I think if the gym was like a little bit like more less big, I think the people, I think it will probably get like a 10 of like friendliness. But right now it feels like a little bit like spread it apart. So I will be having like so I will be rating this like a 9. So yeah, now for cleanliness, I think this gym is really clean. I think sometimes just with like the crimps and the older boulders, you can like see that the holes are like a little bit gray, and they also sometimes feel like a little bit like greasy, or like sandy, to say it this way. It's just a little, like a really weird feeling. But like a lot of boulders, like that's mostly like with like crimpy boulders, because like and like there's like a lot of like different boulders. You have like dynamic boulders, but you don't really feel that much of like the greasy holes when you try those. The slopey boulders, you can also not really feel that much greasiness on those holes. And I think just overall the root setting makes it a 30% that you can like maybe feel greasy holes, and like the other 70% you don't even feel it. I didn't slip once on like any boulder in this gym, which is just like a good sign. Also like definitely like the other boulders were like a lot of like a lot more greasier, but I wouldn't say that it was like really like problematic. I think definitely like the boulder Rijn boulder Arnhem was like definitely a lot more worse. So yeah, I would probably say that the cleanliness in this gym is probably like a 7.5, which is still like pretty good. So yeah, now for safetyness. So yeah, when you probably saw this video and you saw me climbing, you saw a lot of like kids running under me or like running really close by. Like there's also like a lot of people that just like climb on the mats or just walk under you. So I wouldn't really say it's like super safe. Like there aren't also like really like that much safety rules. You don't really have like a rule that you can really sit on the mats. You don't really see that much also in the gym. Which is just like it's like quite a big problem in this gym. So yeah, I have to, because like I feel it like with like a lot of things, definitely with like the youth training. I've like seen like kids just like going really fast to a boulder and just like climbing it. And I was like at the overhang in like this like previous session, and yeah, there was like one kid that was like basically like running under me, and like the training was like, don't run under him, don't run under him. But yeah, it could have been pretty dangerous if I just like fell, and that's like a little bit of like a thing with like kids. You can't really do much about it, but I think definitely with like safetyness, I think they can go more in depth in what the kids should be knowing that could make the gym safe. Also with like adults, I felt like some didn't really wanted to follow the rules or something, and just like um went just like right under me while I was like climbing like an overhang boulder. But like that only happened like in one session. In like the other session, I didn't have that at all, and people just waited for each other. Before that, that wasn't even like the case at all. So yeah, it was probably like a one-time thing, but I think the people in the gym know what the safety rules are a little bit, or at least have like a basic knowledge of them. But I think the kids can definitely like learn a lot more, and I think it can definitely be a lot safer. Even though I didn't have like any accidents in this gym or any moments that I really thought, well, they was like super unsafe, I would say like that they can definitely like improve a lot more with like the safetyness in this gym. So I will have to rate it like a 6.5. So I just removed 2 points from the total score. It went from a 4 a 44.5 to a 42.5 with total points. After doing a little bit of like math, I came out on a 7.1, which is really solid. I think this is just like a really solid gym. I think the route setting is just really good, and I would just like recommend it to a lot of you guys, that have never climbed there, to just try climbing here, because I think it's one of the best gyms in Eindhoven. Even though I haven't really rated Boulder Eindhoven yet, I think this is definitely like one of the best boulder gyms in Eindhoven. But yeah, we will have to see if Boulder Eindhoven is better. But yeah, in my opinion, definitely one gym you have to check out. And yeah, it's just like quite close by to like the train station, like Eindhoven Stripe S. You can basically like go with the train and basically like walk 15 minutes, and then you're basically like in front of the gym. So it's really close by to the station, and I think it's just like a really fun gym to climb in. A lot of really nice people and a lot of hard boulders. So it's good for everyone, for people that also climb really hard boulders, but also really easy boulders. And yeah, I think I would just recommend this gym. It's one of the first gyms that I went to. I went to Eindhoven to see my family. So yeah, definitely like the gym that I would really recommend. And I will definitely climb here a lot when I change my base subscription back to a monk subscription in a few years. So yeah, I think this was it for the rating for every single monk gym in the Netherlands. I will probably just rate Monk Hasselt 2 when we have rated everything in the Netherlands. But yeah, we still have like a lot of gyms to go. We still have the Uithof in Den Haag, which I am probably going to rate in my next video. And I think after that I'm gonna be rating Mono Boulder in Ede. Or I'm probably gonna do that one first, and then I'm probably gonna do the Uithof. But we will still have to see about that. And then there's still like a lot of gyms in Utrecht, and also like a lot of gyms in Amsterdam still. Like there's still Base Amsterdam, and then we still have Base Rotterdam and Boulder Rotterdam. So there's still like a lot of gyms left. But yeah, for now it was every single boulder gym that I've rated for Monk. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.